Hello everybody, I hope you guys can hear me clearly. Please let me know in the chat. Welcome to my weekly live stream with Britcent. I see some of our regulars are here already. Hi guys, welcome. We have Beatrice and Sunyang, Ayani and Chan. Lovely to see you guys as always. And you are very right, Sun Young. It's a good day to watch live streaming with a cup of tea, with a cuppa. Although today it's coffee for me, so I can't call it a cuppa, but it's still pretty tasty. Hi to Gion as well, welcome, and AR as well. Hello, I hope you're doing well. Glad you guys can hear me. Thank you, Sun Young. Hi to Aiden, hi to Sue and Seiwu, welcome. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are okay and that you've had a good start to the week. Here in London, it's a beautiful day. It's really sunny, which makes a lovely change. I've just been for a walk in the garden and it was glorious. And yeah, this week has been pretty normal, I would say. Nothing special going on. In the news, it's all about coronavirus as usual. However, another story that has dominated the news for the last couple of days is the famous Oprah interview that Prince Harry and Meghan have given. It came on, it aired in England yesterday at 9 p.m. and I'm sure many people were watching that interview. I wonder if you guys have heard anything about this. It's quite a big thing right now. You know, we Brits are interested in the royal family, especially the press. Very interested in the royal family, so it's a big, big story. Sanyang says, it's sunny too in Korea. Very nice. I hope you're enjoying the sunshine a little bit outside as much as you can under current restrictions. Hello to Young and to Bean as well. Welcome. Aidan says, I heard last weekend in London was really sunny. Yes, it was actually. It's been lovely. Yeah. I did spend most of my weekend indoors though because I was packing. I'm moving house in a few weeks. So I've got lots of things to put in boxes. So that's what I did most of my weekend. Quite productive, I would say. What did you guys get up to at the weekend? Let me know if you did anything special. Sewu says, has spring arrived there? I think it's on its way. Sewu, yes, I think it's on its way. Beautiful sun today. I hope it lasts, to be honest, because you never know with the weather here. It can go from sunny one day to rainy and stormy the next. So hopefully it will stick around this time. Hello to no one. That's a funny name. Welcome. Beatrice says it's sunny now, but it has been raining in the afternoon these days. Aha. In Brazil. Ah, yes, because obviously your seasons are different to ours in the UK. So I guess it's coming into winter soon, or maybe autumn. I remember when I visited Brazil, it was summertime, and that was January. Yeah, it was lovely. And carnival time. Sunyan says, wow, are you moving? Yes, finally I'm moving house. It's been a long time. We've been waiting and waiting for months and months to finally move. And finally the day is coming very soon. So I'm very excited for a new change, new chapter in my life. Hello to MA as well. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Welcome. Where are you from, MA? So today, guys, we're going to be talking about phrasal verbs. I'm sure that this topic is one that you guys have studied before along your English journey. But I know that a lot of students, a lot of learners of English have trouble with phrasal verbs because there are so many of them in English and we use them so often, you know, in speaking especially. Yeah. So I thought it would be a useful topic to get started with today. So today we're going to learn 7 of these phrasal verbs using the verb get. Aidan is talking about what I mentioned earlier about Meghan and Harry, and you saw a video clip about it. Okay, so you had a negative feeling. Yeah, I mean, it's it's having mixed reviews. Some people feel sorry for her, for Meghan, and others feel like she should have known what it would be like when she married a prince. I'm having mixed feelings about it myself. I am sympathetic to them in some ways, but also not in other ways. So yeah, it's a tricky one. Hello to Foodie, welcome. Good to see you again as well. Thanks for joining. So guys, we've got a lot to do today. So I'm going to share my screen with you like I did last time, and we're going to talk about these phrasal verbs. So for those of you who are unsure of what I mean by phrasal verbs, phrasal verbs are basically verbs, so verbs which have two parts, sometimes three parts. And the parts, we call them the particle. It can either be a preposition or an adverb. You don't really need to worry about which one is which, whether it's a preposition or an adverb. That's not really important unless you really want to go deeply into the grammatical side of things. But just remember that it's usually two or three parts, and you have to remember them together, so you learn them as a phrase. The difficult thing is that some phrasal verbs have more than one meaning. So when you're learning English, you might learn a phrasal verb and then think, okay, I've got this, I've mastered this. And then you might see it in another sentence and think, wait a minute, that's not the meaning that I learnt. And it could be because it has multiple meanings. Yeah. So getting back to the chat, MA says, I'm from Saudi Arabia. Wow, welcome. I think you're one of our first viewers from Saudi Arabia. Thank you for joining us. Yes, we were talking about the royal family, Foodie. Big story here. Sanyang said, it's hard to use phrasal verbs. I'm always confused. Yes, I feel your pain. I understand. I've seen so many students struggling with this. So let's start with my presentation. Here we go. So examples of phrasal verbs would be, as Donghan has written here, put up with. That's a phrasal verb. So you have the verb put, and then you have the particle, which is up with. Put up with something. Today we're going to look at get ones. So we have so many, but today I'm going to teach you 7 get phrasal verbs, and give you some examples. And I'd like you to also make some examples yourselves, if you can. Let's get started with the first one because we've got lots to do today. So here we go. Number 1. So the phrasal verb that we're starting with is this one. As you can see, this phrasal verb has 2 parts, so get by, okay? So we have the verb get, which of course you can conjugate into different tenses. So you can say got if it's past tense, have got, will get, whatever. And it always goes with this preposition by. And then often when you continue the sentence, you will need to add another preposition as well. So you can get by on something, get by in something, or get by with something. Some of you are suggesting meanings. Donghan says to start something. No, it doesn't mean to start. And it doesn't mean to pass, Sanyang. I'll show you what it means. So this is the best way I can explain it. Yes, Aidan, you've got it right, exactly. Manage to do something. So we use it for different things. So it could be money, for example. So it could mean that you manage to survive or you manage to live with the money that you have. Or it could be the knowledge that you have about something. or the equipment that you have. So there's many different things you could use in this way. It's probably easiest for you to understand by seeing an example sentence. So I've written a couple of examples here on the next slide. Have a look. And let me know if they're not clear to you, or if you don't understand them. So here we go. The first example: how does she get by on such a small salary? So perhaps this person has a very, very small salary, low income, and you're wondering how she manages to pay for everything, how she manages to pay her bills, to eat, to pay rent, etc. How does she get by? How does she manage on such little money? Okay, so that's one way you can use it. And you can also use it to do with knowledge, as I said just now. And one of these could be language, knowledge of a language. So in the second example, I can just about get by in German. If you say I can get by in a language, it means that you can manage it. You can manage to have a conversation in that language. It doesn't mean that you are fluent at all. It just means that you have a basic knowledge of the language, so you're able to say some things. You're able to manage. Okay. Now, in this sentence, I included the word just about. This changes it a little bit. This makes it seem as if you speak very little German, so basic German in this case. So if you say I can just about get by, it means I have just enough knowledge to survive in that language. So if you went to Germany, you would be able to, kind of live on a daily basis with the knowledge that you have. Okay. Aidan says that's very clear. Fantastic. I'm glad you got it. Well done. And Young says make ends meet. That's a very good expression as well, Young. We use make ends meet specifically for money. So we don't use it for knowledge like the German example, for instance. But yes, we do have that expression to make ends meet, which means, well, we often use it in the negative form and say, I can't make ends meet. This means I can't survive on the money that I'm earning. Okay, so I guess it's related to the first example, kind of, but it's not a phrasal verb. It's just an expression, an idiom, but it's a very good one. So yeah, that's our first important phrasal verb. We're going to move on to another one, number 2. Donghan said, it reminds me of an image where a man struggles to reach to some point but still being by it. Yeah, I guess if you can kind of associate the phrasal verb with a kind of image, it might help you to remember the phrasal verb, because there's so many that you might need to use different tactics to remember them. So if you can imagine something, an image, it might help. Chris says, hello Chris, welcome back. Aidan says it's usually used in a business world. Yeah, it can be used in the business world, that's right, but it's also used in everyday language, I would say, as well. So it's a very useful one. So moving on to our second phrasal verb. Here we go. So this is our phrasal verb here. Oh, Aidan says, I mean making ends meet. Oh, okay. Yes, it can be used in the business, but also in everyday language as well. Yeah. So our next one is to get along or get on. Now, just to warn you, this one has a couple of different meanings. I am going to cover them all, so bear with me. But we're just going to take it like this first, get on or get along. And the meaning in this case is this, okay? So we often use this to talk about how somebody is doing in a particular situation. So you might ask someone, how are you getting on with your English studies, for example, okay? or how are you getting on in your new job? Okay, in this case, if you say how are you getting on, it means how is it going? How well are you managing this situation? Okay. Say we will come to that meaning in a minute because that is another meaning of this phrasal verb. You're very right. Hello to Belle as well. Welcome. So let's look at some examples with get on or along. Here we go. So somebody might say he's getting on very well at school. As you can see in this example, I've highlighted very well because you can kind of show how somebody is getting on by using an adverb like very well. Of course, you could say well. You could, if you want to make it negative, you can say he's not getting on well at school. Okay, this means he's having some problems. Not succeeding. And then another example where we can use this is how did you get on at the interview? So maybe you would ask this question to somebody who's had a job interview, and you might afterwards ask them, how did you get on? Okay, very common question, very useful to ask people about their news, basically. So I hope this one is quite clear. There are some other meanings of get on as well that I want to share with you. The next one is this meaning. So in this case, we can use get on or get along with someone. So we often use it with people. So I've highlighted someone in this case. This means to have a friendly relationship with somebody. So this is basically what Seiwu suggested just now. Have a good relationship with someone, have a friendly relationship with someone. You can say that you get on with them. Okay, so you get on with him, you get along with her, etc. Aidan says these are very, very useful. Good, I'm glad you think so. Sun Yang says, aha, I read a similar sentence. Now I know what it means. There you go. I'm glad I've helped out. So in this case, let's look at an example. So in this one, we're talking about having a good relationship with someone. I've highlighted the someone to show you here. So in this case, she's never really got on with her sister. So, of course, this is negative because you're saying she's never got on with her, meaning she has never really had a good relationship with her sister. And another example, Chris gets on with his boss most of the time. Okay, so to get on with someone. Okay. And you could also say get along with. Okay, you could replace on with along in both of these examples. All right, so that's an alternative to know about. Let me know if you have any questions or problems with this. But there is one other example I wanted to give you related to get on, which is this one. So moving to the next slide, we have to get on with something in this case. So I've highlighted something because different to the previous one, it's not a person, it's something in terms of like an activity, for example. So this means to continue doing something, especially after you have been interrupted. So we use this a lot when there's an interruption. When I say interruption, this means when somebody else has stopped you from continuing, maybe by talking to you or something. I'll show you an example of that, but we have a question from Pip. Pip says, you mean get along with is the same as get on with? I can't catch what you said. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so if you're talking about having a good relationship with someone, you can say that you get along with them or you get on with them. Okay? Both are the same in meaning. So here's an example with get on with something. Be quiet and get on with your work. Okay, so I've highlighted your work to show it's different to the other example. Get on with your work. So maybe this person has been chatting a lot with someone else, and this is obviously interrupting the work that they should be doing. So their boss, their teacher, whoever might say, be quiet and get on with your work, meaning continue with your work. Another example, we need to get on with dinner before our guests arrive, meaning we need to start dinner. We need to, or continue. It could be start or it could be continue in this case. Maybe you've been preparing something and then you took a break and now you realize the time is running out. So you say, oh, we need to get on with dinner before our guests arrives, because maybe they're on their way. So these are some good examples using get on with something. A couple of questions here. Donghan says, like carry on. Similar, yes. Carry on and get on with your work. I guess, yeah, you could say that. However, get on with your work sounds a little bit stronger. It's kind of like you really want to proceed. And then we have a new listener today, or watcher, Modian. I think I've pronounced your name correctly. Let me know if I haven't. It's your first time. Yes, welcome. Welcome to the live class. We do this every Tuesday at 1 p.m. GMT. So join us every time. Foodie says, is dinner always uncountable? Yes, normally we say dinner. We don't say dinners. There are a couple of exceptions on that, but most of the time it's uncountable, yes. So we don't normally say, let's have a dinner, or I'm going to make a dinner. We just say dinner, so don't use a. Chris says, is it the same as to get on it? No, it's not the same as get on it. That's different. It's kind of slang. If you say get on it, it kind of means let's get drunk, basically. But we'll cover that maybe another time. Okay, guys, let's move on to another phrasal verb, because we've got 7 to get through today. This is our number 3. So here we go. Next phrasal verb. So this is a very good one. Get out of something. What do you think it means? Does anybody recognize this phrasal verb? Now, this one only has one meaning. You're lucky, okay? Oh, welcome back, baby boss. It has been a while. Yes, I haven't seen your name pop up in a long time. Welcome back. Thanks for joining again. So Aidan suggests to leave. Not really. That's not the meaning here. Yolamful, not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but you said escape. I guess it could be to escape in a certain way, but Sun Young has suggested avoid, which is actually a better word for it. Well done, Sun Young. Yeah. So I'll share my there we go, my definition, which is to avoid a responsibility or duty. So it's normally used when you are supposed to do something, okay? You're meant to do something, but maybe you don't really want to do it for whatever reason. So you might try to get out of it. You might try to get out of doing it. Now with this one, you can use get out of something as in a noun. So you can get out of a meeting, for example. But you can also get out of doing something. And remember, with most phrasal verbs, when you have a verb after the phrasal verb, we use the ing form. So you get out of doing something. Here's a couple of examples. The first one is an example using a verb after the phrasal verb. So in this case, this person says, I wish I could get out of going to that meeting. So maybe this person has a meeting to go to, but they really don't want to go. They don't feel like going. So they would like to avoid going. I wish I could get out of it. And another example, we promised we'd go, we can't get out of it now. Okay, so as you can see, you can use it with a verb, ing verb, or with an object, which is a noun or pronoun, like it, for example. So that is all for this phrasal verb. We're going to move on to number 4 in a second, but let me know if you have any questions or problems about this one. And also, in the chat, can you give me an example, anybody? Can you give me an example of something that you would like to get out of? Or something maybe that you got out of recently? Try to make a sentence of your own using this phrasal verb and write it in the chat, and I'll let you know if you got it right. Sun Young says, I want to get out of that professor's class. Okay, that's a very good example. Yeah. You could also say, I want to get out of going to that professor's class as well. That's it. Aidan says, I can get it by checking a couple of example sentences with you. Yeah, some examples here, but of course, if you have another one, you can share it with us. Chan says, I want to get out of COVID-19. That's a little bit different because it's not really a duty or responsibility. The actual virus is not that. So maybe you could change it a little bit and say, I want to get out of following COVID-19 restrictions, meaning that you want to avoid following those restrictions. So you could say that. Hello to Emma, welcome. I'm glad we've got some newbies today joining us. Summertime hasn't started in the UK yet, but it will be soon. I'm not sure the exact date, but I will let you know when the time changes. For now, it's GMT 1 p.m, but it will change slightly in the next few weeks, but I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated. Aidan suggests, I would like to get out of my boring routine and start something new. Yes, me too. That's good. Yeah, that's a very good example. Yeah. Unsol says, I've just made a reservation for IELTS exam, but I wish I could get out of it. Well done. Well done. That's a perfect example. Good job. Well done, guys. Okay, so let's move on to another phrasal verb with get. So we're on to number 4. Here we go. Our next phrasal verb is get across. So you can get across to somebody. So that's why I've written that in brackets. You can also get something across to somebody. Let me know if you know this phrasal verb, to get something across to someone. What do you think it could mean? Let me know if you have an idea. Aidan says the 28th of March is when British summertime starts. Oh, it's quite soon then, a couple of weeks. Thanks for the information, yeah. So I guess everything will be an hour later. Yeah. Donghan suggests to meet someone accidentally. No, it's not that. Maybe you're confusing it with bump into someone. It doesn't mean meet someone by chance. No. Okay, let me give you my definition. It actually means to succeed in communicating something. Aidan has suggested to deliver a message to somebody. Similar thing, yeah, exactly. So it's more about communicating. So if you get across, if you get your meaning across to someone, it means that you're successful in communicating your feelings to them or what you want to say. Okay. So let me give you a couple of examples here. So our first example, he's not very good at getting his ideas across. So this basically means he doesn't have very good communication skills because he finds it hard to express his ideas to others and for them to understand him. Okay, so to get his ideas across. Another example, we need to get across to them that we aren't happy with their service. So we need to communicate to them, we need to make them understand that we aren't happy. So Claire says, get across means to make people understand. Yes, basically, yeah, exactly. Yeah, like kind of communicating to someone and making them understand you. This is get across. Sun Young says, the first example is absolutely me, lol. Is it? That's funny. So yeah, this is a very good one. Well, all of them are very useful for everyday life. I guess it's very useful also with work as well, like getting your ideas across to someone, making them understand you when you talk about ideas or communication in the workplace. That's really useful in that way. Okay, I think that's that for this one. Now we're going to move on to phrasal verb number 5. Okay, so Beatrice says, oh, I got it. Good, I'm glad you got that. Brilliant. So now moving on to phrasal verb 5. This one, you'll probably be disappointed to know, has a couple of different meanings. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So this is get up to something. Now this has 3 meanings, really, although the second and third are kind of related, I would say. Sun Young says, I love the examples. I'm glad that you find them useful. Thank you. Pip says, that's very useful. I can make the most of it. Yes, make the most of it. Try to use these phrasal verbs next time you're speaking English. And then you'll get used to them. They'll feel more natural. Yeah. All right, so get up to something. So the first meaning that I want to show you is this, to reach a particular point. So you can use this when you're talking about maybe doing something which has a number of different tasks involved in it, maybe. And you want to say where you've arrived to, where have you reached? So for example, if you have a look at this first one, I think these examples make it clear. The first one says, we got up to page 72 last lesson. So maybe you're in a classroom, you've got a textbook that you're using in the classroom, and somebody says, oh, which page are we on? And the other person says, oh, we got up to page 72 last lesson. So we reached that page. Or another example, which is very useful if you're talking about TV series, like on Netflix, for example, or similar things, like Amazon Prime, maybe. Where have you got up to in Emily in Paris, for example? Okay, where have you got up to? Meaning, where have you reached? And the answer would be maybe, oh, I've only watched the first episode, or I'm halfway through, for example, something like that. So the next time you're speaking in English and you're talking with your friends about TV series, you can ask them, where have you got up to in that? Yeah. I actually haven't watched Emily in Paris. Well, I lie. I watched one episode, but I thought it was awful. So I've only got up to the first episode. So I won't be going back. It's not my kind of thing. I did like the idea that it was directed by the same director as Sex and the City, because I loved Sex and the City, the series, when it came out. But Emily in Paris, not really my kind of thing. Donghan is asking me why. I don't know. I just found it a little bit fake seeming. I don't know. But I guess it's quite light-hearted. And everybody's talking about it, which is why I put it in this example. Okay, so we have a couple more meanings for this phrasal verb. So let's move on. I've written them here, so you've got all of them here. So the other meaning of get up to is to be busy with something. For example, you can ask someone, what did you get up to at the weekend? Basically, what did you do at the weekend? Or what were you busy doing at the weekend? You can use it this way, okay? Very common question to ask people on Monday morning at work. What did you get up to at the weekend? But we do also use this when something that the person does is surprising or unpleasant. For example, what on earth will he get up to next? Meaning, what is he going to do next? Maybe he's done so many bad things, or I don't know, maybe he's got into trouble a lot recently. So you might ask, oh, what is he going to get up to next? What's he going to do next? So we often use it in these kinds of examples. Emma says, I think I've heard of this phrasal verb in one of the Harry Potter series. Yes, there you go. Probably they were looking in their magic spell book and saying, where have you got up to in that? Young says, for example, they get up to season 6, right? Yeah, you can say, I've got up to season 6, for example, yeah. Okay. Okay, something important to remember about this question, what did you get up to at the weekend? Because I saw your example, Beatrice. Normally we don't say it in a sentence, so we don't say, I got up to this. We normally use it more in questions when you're asking someone. So if somebody said to me, what did you get up to at the weekend? I would say, oh, I was really busy. I packed loads of boxes to move house, for example. So you wouldn't use it in your answer. Use it more in the question. Okay. So it's quite a common question, but not used so much when you're talking about what you've done, if that makes sense. Okay. The second one, Donghan says, parents saying for kids. Yeah, this is perfect for kids. Maybe if somebody's child is getting into trouble at school, their parents might say, what on earth will he get up to next? What will he do next? Yeah. Young says, I got it. Okay, good. And Beatrice as well. Well done. Good, I'm glad. Foodie says, why do you have to use phrasal verbs? Good question. It would be much easier probably without them. I guess it's because they sound more casual. We use them a lot in spoken language, in everyday conversation. Sometimes we use them and we don't even realize that we're using them. Okay, they're quite unavoidable, I would say. So yeah. Foodie says, can't you just say, did you do something surprising at the weekend? No, because that sounds a little bit weird. Because you're just asking them what they did. You're not asking if it's something surprising. You're just asking what they did. So you can just say, what did you get up to? Maybe they got up to nothing. Maybe they would say, oh, nothing special. I just watched Netflix, for example. Or maybe they did something surprising. We don't know. But this is a common question to ask. Right, let's move on to our next phrasal verb. You'll be happy to know this one has one meaning. Number 6 on our list of 7 is this one, to get back at somebody. Can you tell me what you think it means, anybody? Have you ever heard this before? Any suggestions on the meaning here? Let me know in the chat. Sunyan says, I know. What is it then? Tell me what you think it means. Revenge. Exactly. Well done, Sun Young. That is it. Very good. To get revenge on someone. In case you're not sure what revenge is when somebody has done something bad to you and you want to do something bad to them. So you want to kind of pay them back for what they did to you, something bad. So to retaliate. Very good, Donghan. Yes, that's a good word. Yeah. So some examples. So I've highlighted the person because we get back at somebody. We always use it with an object, which is a person. In this case, I'll find a way of getting back at him. Okay, so maybe this person has hurt him or her, and they want to retaliate. They want to get revenge, get back at him. Another example, I want to get back at the person who did this to you. All right. So I want to get revenge on this person. Okay. So yeah, this is a very useful one. Obviously, it doesn't have to be really serious revenge. It could be maybe a prank. Maybe a friend of yours pranked you, like they did something to you that was that kind of like a joke, you know, that made you feel embarrassed, perhaps. So you want to do the same to them at a later time. So you could say, I'm going to get back at him or get back at her. Yeah. So Claire says, get back at means get even or revenge. Yeah, basically that's it. Yeah. So yeah, that's one of them. And then we have one more phrasal verb that I wanted to show you. Number 7. We finally reached the end of our list. And number 7, last one. This one has 2 related meanings. So here we go. The last one on the list is this, to get away with something. So this one, any ideas what this means and when we use it? Yes, Aidan, the last one here, get away with. Any ideas what this one means and when we use this? Let me know in the chat if you have a suggestion. Sun Young says run away. It could be run away, yes. Donghan says get rid of something. No, not get rid of. Not throw out, Uni, I'm afraid not. Aidan suggested to steal something. Yes, it could be. Yes, well done. To steal, to deal with something smoothly? Not exactly. Okay, so we've got 2 meanings that I'm going to show you. The first one is what Aidan mentioned, which is to steal something and escape with it. Okay, like when you talk about like thieves stealing something from a shop, for example, you could say this example: the thieves got away with computer equipment worth £20,000. That's a lot of computer equipment. So this means that they managed to escape with this stuff. Okay, so they got away with that equipment. Okay. However, we also have another related meaning, which is this: to receive a light punishment, which is similar to what some of you have mentioned in the chat. Somebody here, I can't read your name, I'm afraid, but you said to go unpunished. This is exactly it. Yes, Claire, not punished after doing something wrong. For example, you could say he was lucky to get away with only a fine. If you're not sure what a fine is like a penalty. So, for example, if you drive too fast on the motorway, you might get a fine. You have to pay. for this, for breaking the regulations. So if you say he got away with only a fine, it means, you know, he managed to escape with not much of a punishment, like a very light punishment. Another example, I'm not going to let you get away with treating me like that, or treating me that way. Okay, meaning I'm not going to let you escape without any consequences, basically. Okay. Notice, similar to the other phrasal verbs, in this case, ing, treating me like that. So we always use a verb with ing after most phrasal verbs. Okay. So I hope these examples have helped you to understand that one. Let me know if you have any questions. Donghan, like pardoned, I guess kind of like pardoned. Yeah, like you've not really been forgiven exactly, but kind of you've escaped without much consequences, or many consequences rather. Hello to Shiping, welcome. I think you're new here. Seibu says, you can't get away with faking forever. Yes, that's a very good example. Well done. And you used ing. Nice. Very good. Well done. Okay, guys. Well, that is the end of the 7. And I do have a couple of mini quiz questions for you. So we're going to start that now. It's mini quiz time. So I'm going to show you some sentences on the presentation, and I'd like you to suggest what the answer should be. Okay, it's kind of a quiz and also kind of a test to see whether you've understood what I've said today. Okay. We have a couple of questions though. Young says, if I was told stupid, I can say, right, get back at you. No. So if somebody calls you stupid, you can say, right back at you. So you don't use the verb get in that expression. Okay. All right. So some of you have said that you love the mini quiz and you're ready and you've been waiting. Okay, let's begin. So we don't have time for many questions, but I'm going to give you a few. So here we go. Let me know in the chat what your answer is. Okay, so first question is this. Have a look. You're ready? Okay, so the first one says, the teacher told them to get their work quietly. Write in the chat what you think is missing from that gap. It could be 1 or 2 words, maybe 3. You tell me what you think it is. All right, we've got some answers coming in already. Hello, Sun, welcome back. All right. All right, let's wait for some more answers to come in. But it seems like Donghan is the winner of this round because you gave me the answer, the correct answer first. Well done. And the answer is this. On with. Well done. Although lots of you gave the correct answer, so you've obviously understood and been listening. So well done, guys. So yeah, told them to get on with their work quietly. Well done to Donghan for getting that right first. Brilliant. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Here we go. So again, same thing, write in the chat, tell me what you think is missing from this sentence. So he finds it very hard to get on his salary. What is the missing word over here? Or words, it could be more than one word. Aidan says Donghan is really quick to answer, such a genius. Okay, we've got some answers coming in for this one. Well done, guys. You're getting them all right so far. And it looks like Unsol is our winner for this round. And this is our answer, bye. Yeah, very good to Unsol. Well done, you got it first. So yeah, to get by on his salary. Yeah. So we talked about this earlier. I think it was our first phrasal verb from the list. So to manage to survive on this salary. Well done. Well done. Yeah. Okay. I think we have time for one more question, guys. So here we go. Final one. So here we go. Again, write in the chat what you think the answer is. The police let him get only a £10 parking ticket. Remember, £10 is not very much for a parking ticket. Let me know what you think it is. Aidan, I like the fact that you're using the word cheers. Very good. Thank you in slang, in British slang. All right, we've got some answers coming in. Make sure you give me all the words necessary here. Okay, some of you have given me one word and some of you have given me two, but actually you do need two because the answer is away with, to get away with. And it seems like Chris B was the first one to give me the full answer. So well done to you, Chris. Amazing. To get away with only a £10 parking ticket. So he kind of escaped with a very light punishment. Yeah. All right. Well done, guys. I'm afraid we'll have to stop here for today. I hope this has been useful for you. I've certainly enjoyed teaching you this, and time has flown by as usual. Crazy. But yeah, I'll be here next week, same time, same place, with a different topic as usual. For those of you who are new today, thank you for joining us. Make sure you click subscribe to this channel. And every Tuesday, I'll be doing this, this kind of thing at 1 p.m. GMT until the clocks change, but that's not for a couple of weeks yet. So I'll see you next week, hopefully. And make sure you set a reminder on YouTube so that you don't forget to join me, okay? Thank you very much for participating, and you've been amazing today. Really good. You've been listening really well, and I can see that you've understood what I've said, so I hope this will help you with your English. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week. Take care, guys. Bye.